it says solve the following quadratic equations by factoring. Notice that it's in a different format. There's no more y. But we're going to go through the same process. Now we're going to solve it. We're no longer graphing it, so they're not called zeros or x-intercepts or roots. We're just going to solve it. They're called solutions. Now, in order to solve it, we want to be able to make it equal to 0. So I want to be able to move my negative 10 to the left, or if you want to add 10 on both sides, it's fine. So we have 3x squared minus 11x and then positive 10. We want to make it equal to 0 so we can factor it and then solve it. If it's not equal to 0, we will not be able to use the zero product property. Now we can factor. Is there a number that divides 3, 11, and 10? No. So I'm going to double parenthesis, factor it, equal to 0. Factors of 3x squared will be 3x and x. Factors of 10 will be 10 and 1, and 3 and 2 and 5. Be careful. Some of you guys have to think of 10 and 1 because you guys see the 11. But we have a 3x in here, so we're going to have to multiply. So I'm going to place my 5 here and my 2 here. And they both have to be negative. Because when I add them, have to be negative number. So 3x times x will give me 3x squared. 3x times negative 2 will give me negative 6x. Negative 5 times x will give me negative 5x. And that gives me negative 11. Then negative 5 times negative 2 will give me positive 10. Now, because it's equal to 0, I can make my zero product property or my t-chart. That means that 3x minus 5 equal to 0 or x minus 2 equal to 0. I'm going to move my 5 to the right, becomes a positive 5. Divide by 3, x is equal to 5 over 3. That's my first solution. I'm going to move my 2 to the right, becomes a positive 2, and that is my second solution. Let's go and try letter B. Now be careful. Ideally, when you're moving things left and right, some of you guys say, you know, the 4x squared will be easier just to move one item to the right, but we want to be able to keep the x squared positive. So because of that, I'm going to move my 2x to the left-hand side and my 12 to the left-hand side to make it equal to 0. I have 4x squared, that becomes a negative 2x, that becomes a negative 12, equal to 0. Before you factor, many of you guys are just factoring double parentheses. You want to take out the common factor first. What do I need to multiply 4? Or what number divides 4, 2, and 12? It's 2. What do I need to multiply 2 to get 4x squared? 2x squared. What do I need to multiply 2 to get negative 2x? Negative 1x. What do I need to multiply 2 to get negative 12? Negative 6. So from here, now I can factor this out. So to factor it out, the 2 comes down, double parenthesis, equal to 0. So factors of 2x squared will be 2x and x. Factors of negative 6 will be 3 and 2, 6 and 1. I need to end up with a negative 1, so I'll place my 2 here, so that gives me 4, and then minus 3 will give me 1. So that gives me a negative, this will be a positive. I'm going to double check. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 2 will give me negative 4x. 3 times x will give me positive 3x. And 3 times negative 2 will give me negative 6, which is fine. If I add them, does it give me negative 1? Yes. Now from here, I do my zero product property. I'm going to make it equal to 0. Or my t-chart. That will be 2 equal to 0? No. 2x plus 3 equal to 0. And x minus 2 equal to 0. Move my 3 to the right, becomes a negative. Divide by 2. Move my 2 to the right, becomes a positive. Go and try example number 4 by yourselves and see what you get. Just be careful on example number 4. A. You don't want to move the 3x to the left. We want to be able to keep that 3x positive, 3x squared positive. So you probably want to move by 15x to the right. Go ahead and pause it. Try example number 4 and then we can compare answers. Great. On example number 4, we want to be able to make it equal to 0 in order to factor it, so we can use our zero product property. I'm going to move my 15x to the right. It's going to become a negative. So from here, don't do your double parenthesis yet. You want to be able to take the common factor out. 1 number divides 3, 15, and 18. 3. So you have 0 is equal to 3 times y will give me 3x squared, will be x squared. 3 times y is 15x, negative 5x. 3 times y will give me negative 18, negative 6. So now I can factor this out. Double parenthesis. Factors of x squared will be x and x. Factors of 6 will be 3 and 2, 6 and 1. Now, many of you guys are thinking of 3 and 2 because I'll give you a negative 5. This is a negative. That means that when you subtract them, it has to give you 5. So I'm going to use 6 and 1. That'll be negative, that'll be positive. So it gives me x squared plus 1x minus 6x, and that gives me negative 5. I'm going to use my zero product property, and negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. My zero product property, or my t-chart. Now, do I need to place the 3 equal to 0? No. X minus 6 equal to 0. Move the 6 to the right, becomes a positive 6. X plus 1 equal to 0. Move my 1 to the right, becomes a negative 1. Now, example B, same process. I want to make it equal to 0. So I'm going to move both of this to the right. So I can make this an x squared positive. If not, that's fine. You can still go through the same process, but then you have to take out a negative 3, not just a 3. So on the left, I'm out of 0. This will give me 3x squared plus 12x, and then this still stays at negative 15. I'm going to divide by 3 to take out the common factor. 3 times what is 3x squared? That'll be x squared. 3 times what will give me 12x? That'll be positive 4x. And 3 times what will give me negative 15? That'll be negative 5. Let me factor this out. I still have my 3 outside. We have x and x. Factors of negative 5 will be 5 and 1. I'm going to make this a positive and negative 1. Let me double check. Now some of you guys are double checking your factorization in your head, which is fine. That gives me 3x squared. That gives me negative 1x. That gives me positive 5x. And that gives me 4x. And then negative 5. Correct. Now, some of you guys are factoring from here. You're not taking out the common factor, the 3. You do your double parenthesis, which is 3x and x. Factors of 15 will be 3 and 5. And you have to subtract them to get 12. Or I'm going to place my 5 here and my 3 here. That gives me positive, negative, which is fine. But you have to be able to take the extra step to take a 3 off from here. So the 3 will stay outside. And that gives me x minus 1 and x plus 5. And if you notice, I end up with the same thing. 3, x minus 1, x plus 5. So just be careful. It's ideally you want to take out the 3 first and then factor it out. If not, you end up with larger numbers, but you want to be able to take out the 3 anyways from there, especially as we go through later chapters. So from here, I do my zero product property. Do I need to make this one equal to 0? No. Or just give me false. X plus 5 equal to 0. Move my 5 to the right, becomes a negative 5. X minus 1 equal to 0. Move my 1 to the right, becomes a positive 1. That's it. Thanks so much. Please email me if you have any questions, and have a great day.